What's up YouTube, this is Bystander X79 guys. Today I'm coming to you with my latest deck profile for September 2019, and today we're going to be doing my PK Fire deck. Alright, since last time, a few things have happened to this deck. I mean, we lost Rusty to the ban list. Rusty being able to give you cards when the Dark Attribute monster is summoned to his zone is pointed to, as well as giving you those extra negates. Yeah, I can understand why he got banned. But also, even though we lost Rusty, we did wind up getting Cherubini, finally. And Cherubini does add a little bit extra to the deck. Downward pointing zones, some awesome effects. So you know what? All in all, I think we traded up, in my opinion. Even though Rusty is now banned, the deck can still do what it does. Tacked in a few more cards to really help the deck get going. And to be honest, yeah, it's an amazing deck to play. Can surprise your opponents, can disrupt, and we're going to get right into this, and we're going to turn around and see what I have in store for you guys. Alright, 2 copies of Phantom Knight Silent Boots. Alright, Phantom Knight Silent Boots, get this guy in the graveyard, you banish him from the graveyard, you're searching your deck for a Phantom Knight Fogblight. It's easy. It's great. You want to have this guy in your graveyard. Okay. You got 2 copies of Phantom Knight's Ragged Gloves. Alright, Ragged Gloves has a couple effects. One thing, if it's used as an overlay unit for an Xyz monster, that Xyz monster is getting an extra 1,000 attack, which is actually pretty cool. Think about adding that onto something like Nightmare Shark. That's 3,000 points of damage you can do then. The real cool thing about this, when this card is in the graveyard, you can banish it, and then you can send another Phantom Knight monster from your deck to your graveyard. It's basically a full burial for the Phantom Knights, and that can just allow you to set up your boots to go into your Fogblade. And it's just overall a great 4-card engine for the Phantom Knights. Alright. For the Burning Abyss. Alright, now for those of you not familiar with Burning Abyss, they all have effects that activate when they're sent to the grave, but they also can special summon themselves when you don't control back row. Okay, so you can get a lot of monsters onto the field real fast. With a leak when it's sent to the graveyard, you're targeting one of your opponent's monsters, and you're negating those effects for the rest of the turn, which is actually a pretty damn awesome effect. Love running 2 of them just for disruption purposes. You got 1 copy of Babar. Babar, when you sent to the graveyard, you could banish up to 3 Burning Abyss monsters from your graveyard and inflict 300 points of damage for each one of them, which is a total max of 900. Very awesome card to have, really handy, especially if you're going into time. I mean, I know a lot of players don't frown upon that, but you know, it's going to help you get that win if you need to get it. Alright, 1 copy of Calcab. Calcab, when it's sent to the graveyard, you're targeting one of your opponent's set spell and traps, and you're basically getting it off the field. You got one of the big guys right here. You got Seer. Whenever Seer is sent to the graveyard, you're special summoning something from the graveyard back onto the field. So it's like the R-type version of Monster Reborn, which is awesome. Alright. I still like running 3 copies of Farfa. Whenever Farfa is sent to the graveyard, you're targeting one of your opponent's monsters and you're banishing for the rest of the turn. Great way to get a problematic monster off the board and be able to deal with other monsters that are on the board. Very awesome. 1 copy of Graph. Send Graph to the graveyard. You're special summoning a monster from your deck. Huge. 2 copies of Libic. Libic is awesome in this deck. Whenever Libic is sent to the graveyard, you're special summoning another Dark Fiend from your hand to the field, which is just awesome. Allows you to extend your plays, link up the ladder. Very awesome. Alright. And of course you got 3 copies of Skarm. Alright, Skarm sent to the graveyard. You're going to be able to search your deck for another Dark Attribute Fiend monster from your deck to your hand at the end phase, which is pretty good. I mean, I can understand why they put it in the end phase. Helps you set up for your next turn. Just awesome. So you can search out any of the other Burning Abysses, or you can just turn around and search out your tour guide. Alright? Now, one thing a lot of players will warn you about, and I will do that as well with Tour Guide, is that you want to bait out as many negations as you possibly can before you summon Tour Guide. Primary reason is they negate Tour Guide and she's still in the field. You're going to have a hard time being able to get other Burning Abyss monsters onto the field, because you already age your normal summon, and the Burning Abyss monsters, they pop themselves if you don't control another Burning Abyss monster on the field. So it can be difficult at times to really do this, so that's why you want to bait them out. I mean, I get stuck with her on the board. Alright, 3 copies of Fiendish Rhino Warrior. Fiendish Rhino Warrior is actually a pretty awesome card. Keep him on the field. He has a continuous effect that prevents your Fiend monsters from being destroyed by card effects, including their own, which helps you be able to summon out a lot of Burning Abyss monsters to go into various plays. And furthermore, whenever this card is into the graveyard, you're getting another Foolish Burial effect for your Fiend monsters, which is just awesome. Alright, and the tech card that I like running in this deck, 3 copies of Rescue Ferret. Rescue Ferret is so freaking awesome. As long as you have a Link monster on the field, you can tribute this guy off and special summon out 2 monsters as long as their levels equal up to level 6, which is pretty damn easy in this deck, since pretty much every monster in your deck is level 3. Alright. Awesome card. Can get you into your Exceeds plays, can help you build your board, link up even further, so there's a lot of different plays, and the best part about it is that when you tribute him off, he goes back into the main deck, instead of going to the graveyard, which is actually pretty awesome, so you can run into him a lot more easier. I'm running 3 primarily because I want to have access to the spell card that can search him out, just in case I need to get to him a little bit quicker. Speaking of spells, you can't run a Dark Attribute deck without this card. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Draw 2, banish a Dark Attribute monster. Pretty standard, but get you into your deck deeper. You got the spell card that can help you search out your Rescue Ferret. Basically, you need 3 beast monsters with 300 attack, 100 defense. Alright? Show them to your opponent. Your opponent picks one, adds it to your hand, shuffle the other 2 back into the deck. So this card's always going to be live, since you always are going to have the 3 ferrets in your deck. The only trick about it is that your life points have to be lower, and I do have a card in the deck that can actually help you out. Alright, Foolish Burial. Hey, gotta get stuff into the graveyard, get those effects off. And to help with back row decks like Salamangreat or Sky Strikers, 2 copies of Twin Twisters. Discard cost just feeds well into the overall strategy for your Burning Abyss and the Phantom Knights, so it's worth having in this deck to deal with. Alright, for the traps, I am running 2 copies of Paleozoic Deinonymiscus. I mean, this is a tech option that I just recently picked up from another video. Shout outs to Afro Chet, because he just showed me this is an awesome card to have. Discard a card from your hand when you activate this, and you're targeting the card and banishing that card off the field, which is just huge. Alright, of course, got the 2 Fog Blades. Fog Blades negate, which is awesome. And then the other cards, which help you keep your life points low so you can activate the Searcher. 3 copies of Solemn Judgment. Negate a summon, negate a spell, negate a trap. You have to pay half your life points, but this card's always going to be alive, and it's going to turn around and stop your opponent. So it's worth having. Alright, that's the main deck. On to the extra. 1 copy of Dante, the Pilgrim. Summon him off of Beatrice when she's popped. 2 copies of Dante, the Traveler of the Burning Abyss. This is your main band of the deck. Detaching material, you get to mill up to 3 cards from your deck to your graveyard, which powers them up to 2500 attack. Always awesome, getting more of those effects off, so totally worth it. Alright, DD Stone King Darius. Such an amazing card. You can detach a monster during your battle phase, and this card can't be destroyed by battle, and then whenever it does battle an opponent's monster, after damage calculation, it just destroys a monster. So, always worth to have, and all you have to do is use 2 Fiends, which is just huge. Alright, Livier the Sea Dragon. Awesome card for this deck, especially since we're running a war. You can get stuff back onto the field, help link up, or just go into your Xyz. Number 47, Nightmare Shark. Attack to the face, 2000 attack, which is pretty awesome in time. Powered up with Ragged Gloves, 3000 attack. Alright, Phantom Knights, Break Sword. Spot Control, Pop Cards, worth it. Beatrice, the Lady of the Eternal. I mean, it would be better if she had Burning Abyss in her name, but like it or not, she is what she is, and she's actually pretty awesome. Build her up through a Dante, and then during your opponent's turn, you can actually turn around and disrupt them even further by sending more stuff to the graveyard, which is just huge. Alright, that's it for the Xyz. Links, 2 copies of Cherubini. Newest Burning Abyss monster, we finally got him. He's an awesome card. Basically, any Burning Abyss monsters that he points to can't be destroyed by their own card effects. So that's actually very handy if you don't have Phoenix Rhino Warrior on the field and you have a different monster on the field. Very cool. Alright. He can turn around and protect himself by sending another Burning Abyss monster you control to the graveyard. Okay, and he can also send a Burning Abyss monster from your deck to your graveyard to give another monster a power boost, which is actually pretty cool. So he gets the stuff into the graveyard, which is the most important. Alright, some generic link to is like run the Nightmare package. Pretty standard. Goes after special summon monsters, goes after back row, goes after any card and spins it back to the deck, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, all of them have a discard cost, which further fuels the whole strategy of the deck. I am running Zephyr Mellotron primarily because I like the arrows he gives. Free facing you, which is just awesome. 2 monsters from the specials. They're special summon from the extra deck, so yeah, I can understand it can be a little bit difficult to get him out, but if you can, he's awesome. You can target 2 monsters that were special summon from the extra deck and banish them both. Which is to the end of the turn, which can actually help you get problematic monsters off. So it's like an extra Forfa. Awesome card to have in the deck, worth having. And last but not least, I am running a copy of Boral Sword. OTK potential, just be able to cut a monster's attack points in half and be able to attack twice. Big damage, get shooter wins. Self-explanatory. Alright. So guys, that is it for my PK Fire deck for September 2019. Guys, as always, if you like the deck, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe. Enable notifications, especially the YouTube notifications, so you don't miss a single upload. Guys, check out the description box below. Find the invite link to my Discord server. Join the conversation. We would love to have you. Follow me on Twitter at BystanderX79. And guys, as always, until next time, peace.